All right, I think we are getting started. Yes,
Are we on?
we are recording.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone. My name is T. Nicole Taylor, also known as TNT. This is Angry Black Woman Podcast. Yes, Angry Black Woman. And I have here a very special guest, co-host here, Frankie, also my family, also well-known author, ghostwriter, political activist, and my mentor. Um, what would you like to say?
Hey, welcome. Hello to everyone. Thank you. And every compliment she has given me, I give it back to her tenfold. Author, community activist, community leader. I'll give her that community leader. So I give it back to you tenfold.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you don't look very angry. And I know you. You're not very angry. You're angry about some stuff, but not.
Oh, no, not all the time. But let me explain. So, as you know, we're in 2025, and unless you're hiding up under a rock, people may have a lot to be angry about. Why I wanted to name this podcast "Angry Black Woman." Usually, that's kind of like a stigma put on Black women, where we are made to feel like our emotions are too passionate, and they don't want to see us smiling. Can't laugh, God forbid. Look at Kamala Harris. Can't be independent. You're a B word, and so I want to in 2025 really, really, really dwell in anger, and why I want to dwell in angry and unapologetically is because I'm human, and it's a real emotion, and I have a right to feel the way I feel. I don't know about you. That may not be the expression for most people. Like some people may feel no one can steal your joy, and no one is stealing my joy. But I take the words of James Baldwin, which he lent to the quote, to be African or Negro and conscious in America is to be in a constant state of rage. And that's what I'm feeling.
I don't think you have to be. I mean, at times I'm an angry Black woman unapologetically, and so I think it's okay to be angry. And we're living in times where if we're angry Black women, there's an evil white man. So I mean, I have unapologetically. You have reasons to be frustrated, feelings of uncertainty, feelings of rage, feelings of being terrified. We go through a range of emotions, so it's okay to be unapologetically whatever you are in this moment.
Absolutely. And I'm taking, speaking with a lot of friends and, family members, and Black women just in general who, feel kind of betrayed after this election. And so even on Inauguration Day, which was last week, many, there was like a message or a text going on to just like, meet with some sisters, and just like, don't even give that any energy or viewings, which I hear that that inauguration had one of the lowest viewerships in history. I know someone really loved that. No surprise there. So, and I decided to have like brunch with some family members, and we discussed things about what we appreciate about each other and about Black women and who are the Black women in our lives that inspire me. And of course, I brought you up.
Likewise, I wasn't there. I'm sick, but obviously we would have been back at you for sure.
Mm-hmm. And it just goes into the whole frame of mind and the idea that, right now, Black women, we want to take a back seat a little bit. And this is in love and memory of when we gave a shit. And it's hard to really take a back seat in these moments because especially someone like myself who has been like an advocate, an activist for the community for so long. But, we said, these things were going to happen.
Is it taking a back seat though? It's not taking a back seat. It's just being okay with having your self-care days or checking out days. And so it doesn't mean that you're taking a back seat, because when you do take a back seat, it's not like it's permanently. It's like I can have my days where I don't give a, where I'm just doing me. I'm doing me and my family. So it's not like you're never going to completely take a back seat, because if we take a back seat, anything can happen. So we're not taking a complete back seat. It's just being okay with, I'm having my self-care days and self-community days. One of the things you talked about is people talk about self-care, but we like to say, like in my writing circle, we call it community care, because sometimes I can't take care of myself. I need some sisters to love on me, to tell me how great I am. And I'm going to tell them how great they are, to lift me up. So sometimes we have gone from calling it self-care to community care, understanding that we need each other to lift us up, encourage us, empower us. You know what I mean? So it's not all about self-care days. It's about community days. I think a lot of women, I'm in some writing circles, and they were also doing brunch, but they did it on MLK, like the day. And it was about, because you need to be lifted up. I don't mind receiving. I love receiving props. Give me my props. And I love giving out props, because you put in that work. You understand what I'm saying? So when you put in that work, you don't have to be like, oh, no, you don't have to thank me. Yeah, thank me. Thank me. I don't have a problem with accepting thank yous. And I don't have a problem with returning those thank yous, because I know that I stand on the shoulders of great people, even you younger cousin, but I stand on the shoulder of you. So give us our props. We love our props. If you want to give us props in the below, give us our props. It make it, it's not like you are expecting it or never expecting anything in return, because we've like done so much and never expect anything in return. But it's okay to be like, I accept thank yous. Yeah. Thank you for thanking me. I appreciate that.
And I'm glad. And see, this is why, the mentorship is important, because, in a corrective way, that you express that, and you explained that perfectly, because this stuff will give you a stroke. And you wonder why, health in our community is so high and we're so stressed out. But I'm not going to, be consumed and overwhelmed. And that's part of the strategy, is to be overwhelmed every single day. It's exhausting. And I'm not going to allow myself to be exhausted by the nonsense. But be very, very clear. Like you said, that doesn't mean we're taking a backseat to what needs to be done. There is still a lot of organizing, still a lot of education that must be had, so we don't fall prey to what we are dealing with today. And a lot of that is because, complacency, people being very, very misinformed. And now, the chickens have come home to roost in a lot of ways. It's right in your face. And so it would be irresponsible to sit up here and remain silent, or just to, be in a position of like, well, I told you so. And now you just whatever, because, like you said, we just celebrated the Honorable Martin Luther King. And one of his famous quotes is, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So even if this is not knocking on your door, which a lot of things that are happening, maybe happening to other communities, and it's real easy to be like, I told you so. Just because it's not happening to you right now, don't just wait. They'll be coming for you as well. So, if anything, this is a time to be more united and unified in the capacity of groups of minorities and that capacity. And we got to find real allies, and we got to provide ways of coming together. But that just brings me to where we are in our discussion today, which is it racist enough now? Black America under attack. And so, like I said earlier, we are in week 2, and golly,
you said what now? We're what 2?
We're actually in just week 2 of
week 2. Okay, yeah, week 2.
Week 2 of the first convicted felon president's term, and he has wasted absolutely no time to show you his true intents, his retribution tour of who he wants to go after, and how he is kind of heartless, careless, reckless in his policies. And so we just want to hit a few things. Some of this many of you are aware of. But on day one, he wanted to make sure that he pardoned all 1,500 January 6 rioters, many who were charged for committing violence against police officers. Many said that, oh, this wouldn't happen, not the violent ones. I mean, but anyone on that particular day breaking into the Capitol deserve to face.
This personally makes me sick.
Yeah. They deserve.
I'm just saying, they wanted to like unalive the vice president, and because he wasn't unalived, he said, "You know what? Y'all didn't do your job, so I'm gonna go with my second choice, which is JD Vance." And this out of anything that has happened right now, this is what makes me the angriest. That you literally can convict your personal military to protect you, and just have these people at the White House standing behind you. This is a disgrace. I mean, this is an absolute disgrace and outrage. But he told you the first time he wasn't really prepared, but this time he came prepared with his Project 22, full-blown racism, Elon Musk. I feel like I heard him like speaking, and I heard him speaking, and he never reads from his notes that they prepare for him, but I actually heard him reading. I saw him reading from his notes today, and I'm like, this is an AI robot. This man is an evil AI robot, because I heard him reading from the notes, like, and and so, but back to the rioters, it just makes me extremely, if you want to talk about something to make you angry, not upset, not frustrated, but angry.
I mean, more than angry, because these weren't just people who betrayed this country, but these were violent offenders that were.
Some of them are even ex-aid offenders, like they've offended children. SA, that's what we use on the internet. SA, they've offended children. But the thing is that I know, and I mean, I know you know this as well, and I know people listening to this know this as well. They will offend again. Like they will offend again in their state. They will offend again. So being released, I know that that's temporary, because I know that each and every one of them, based on some of the backgrounds on some of these offenders, having offended children, I know that they will offend again, and they will be convicted, or they're going to harm someone. He just paraded out this, he parades out like brown people for violent crimes, but one of those, they have committed violent crimes already, but you can rest assured, as sure as the sky is blue, they will offend again. And then I don't know if it'll go to state. I don't know how that'll play out, but it'll be a news story. And Mark timestamp this, because they will offend again. Yeah.
Oh,
and
they one of my greatest fears is that this is going to give them the emboldenment to do this again, and on a more local level. Since their person is in office, what's stopping them from, on a local level, on the city level?
I'll tell you what's stopping them. What's stopping them is F around and find out, because people are not, you're not just going to run up on somebody and be like, oh, I'm here, I'm taking, no, you're not going to. It's going to be an all out war. So what's going to stop you? And it may not stop you, but you will F around and find out, because everybody, it's not just, oh, I'm going to get
if your president is giving get out of jail cards, like he giving flat out pardons without prejudice, these were felony charges. So had they just stood like they were supposed to, many of these individuals would not even been able to been a gun owner again. Now some of the first things these individuals said when they were released was that they're going to get their guns, and that they wanted retribution. They wanted to go after the people that put them in jail. I mean, it's they actually believed, not all of them, but some of them, that they were hostages. And I think that was offensive to even say that, in light of like this whole thing going on with Israel and Gaza, and people that have been, captured and truly in hostage situations, to compare them to individuals like that. I mean, it was such an offensive
disgrace.
Insult. Yeah, it's this disgrace. But
I'll stop being like shocked by evil. You know what I'm saying? Ponerology. I think it's ponerology. It's the study of evil, right? Because people think it's called porno. If people think it's, I'm not saying pornography. I'm saying ponerology. It's the study of evil. And these people, Donald Trump studies evil, right? He's an evil person. And anybody that just wants to go out, anybody that know I did something bad to somebody, but I believe somebody did something bad to me, it's evil. And evil, like I said, F around and find out. And then a lot of them are going to. They're going to harm some of the people that he worships, the blue side, the wealthy, well-connected. They will harm some people that he worships, that Donald Trump worships. But they also going to, a lot of them are going to F around and find out. Because people aren't just going to let you take what they work for. They're not going to let you just disrespect them. And it's going to be all-out war. Be all-out war. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Study of evil, ponerology. He studies evil. I look at him. I see evil in that picture. I do. I see evil.
Hello. Hello.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay. You saying hello?
Yeah. No, because I kind of lost volume for a second. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. No worries.
I hear you now.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I mean, I'm not going. And then every day of this presidency, last time when he cheated and won presidency, I checked out, and I was writing this series of cozy mysteries, right? And so then I was like, I'm not going to just sit up there. Now we are obligated as women who of the community to be checked in. Like we could check out, but we're obligated to be checked in. But I'm not going to sit here and like his strategy as we learned. It's just like throw out a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of hurtful policies and content, and make us get riled up. And I'm not just going to be on a yo-yo, a pop-up, like pop up. He did this, he did this. I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to trusted sources, your podcast, other podcasts that I trust. And I'm going to know when I need to activate, right? Like in February, we're coming up on the month of February, and there is a move to boycott Target. And I don't know what stage it's in, but I will find out. And I want to activate when necessary, but I'm not going to be on every little roller coaster that he wants to take us on. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to, like you said, it causes stress. You wake up, you're fearful, you're stressful. When your children leave out the house, you're thinking like, I hope nothing. You just never know.
Well, that's part of like toward the end of our segment, and when we're talking about what are we willing to do in some of those actions. But going on to like what's happened. So the release of those, January 6 rioters, he ended first security for Dr. Fauci, Mike Pompeo, John Bolton. So, I mean, this is part of what we know is him retaliating on the people that, either was a witness against him or he has them on his shit list. Repeal of all federal DEI programs, and in this enacting mass deportation. And so, it's going so far as, they're saying that there's no protections in churches and schools. Like my own daughter was having a conversation with her today, and she have classmates in her school that are not coming to school, and some that are in fear, and the teachers are trying to share and explain to them what's going on in light of these directive orders. And you have some we're in Cincinnati, and neighboring county is like Butler County, and there's a individual there. He's very zealous in his wanting to enforce the deportation by any means necessary. I mean, he's up here gloating on the news, talking about, hey, we have this facility waiting to detain individuals. I heard they like soccer, making light of these situations, and Trump seemed to be upset because they're not making their 1,900 a day gathering. And
what is costing? And he's speaking of that. Like it's costing taxpayers. They're saying to deport people like almost $1 million, $800,000 to deport 80 people. So it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. But when we talk about DEI, let me read you a list of the DEI people. Okay, you got Peter Hegseth, right? These are the DUI appointments. These are the appointments that have been given something. Yeah, DUI. It's not DEI, it's DUI. These are the people who have been given something. And DUI, basically, he is talking about Black and brown people. When I say he, I'm talking about the man that studies Ponerology, which is Trump. He's not talking about Black people because, well, he is. He's only talking about Black people. But DEI affects veterans and disabled and a whole group of people. But these people who he put in there, well, he's trying to get right at this moment, Robert F. Kennedy. You know, this list of people is his DEI list. I've seen some of the people who are in his cabinet. They've hired like media personalities' kids. So these kids are 18 and 19 years old, getting clearance, working in the White House. That's what giving somebody something is. Not people who have pulled themselves up by them bootstraps.
Yeah.
Nepotism. Not people who have pulled themselves up by them back their bootstraps. That's what DEI is. And so I'm not going to get caught up. Every time he says that, that's like a trigger word or a buzzword, a dog whistle to his base. And so just like I think about groups like Acorn and things like that, how they just went in to destroy them. You even talk a lot about woke. And what I was telling you is I'm not going to sit up there and let them, I'm going to go to the people who are woke. I'm going to go to the people who challenge me, who inspire me, who make me courageous. I'm not going to be watching. I'm not going to watch any traditional media that gives. Now we need some of, not some, but we need to know what is going on at the White House. Absolutely. But I need to know people who are strong and courageous, because you can't follow weak people. You can't follow people that still falls for this dog and pony show. The media, the traditional media should have learned, and they did. A lot of them, it's a lot of them I can name. They learned from last time. Like everything he does, everything he says, he's meant to be the author of confusion. He not meant to be, he is the author of confusion. So I'm not going to follow every dog and pony, every whistle he does. I'm going to follow people I trust. I'm going to read. That's one of the things. If you don't read, you can't lead. And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Exactly. Let me, if I can, I'm trying to pull something up here. And share somebody that gave a very good, profound point of like what DEI actually is. So I'm going to share my screen.
Let's hear it.
The real F around and find out moment is here. A lot of people are looking at the Black community thinking that we are the recipients and benefactors of DEI programs and affirmative action programs. And I know affirmative action is no longer, but whenever they hear the term DEI or they hear the term affirmative action, they look to the Black community thinking that we are the benefactor. Now, here's some information for you. The number one recipient of DEI are white women. That is according to the U.S. Department of Labor. And others fall under that group, under the minority group, the ethnic minority. Number one recipient under that group are Latino and Hispanic Americans. Number two are Asian Americans. Number three are Native Americans. Number four, individuals with disability. Number five, veterans. Okay? And number six, the LGBTQ plus community. And guess who comes last at receiving DEI benefits? Guess who comes last? That's right. Black Americans. Black people. Let me also say, you can do a Google search and you will see the primary benefactors of DEI programs are not only white women, but white men, white male CEOs. Those are the ones who have benefited the most from DEI initiative programs.
So, you see, But I think that he does the dog whistle. See, the dog whistle doesn't care about actual facts, which she said the Department of Labor and Statistics gives you that information, and anybody can Google it and find out that the Department of Labor and Statistics give you the information. But when you dog whistle to people who don't read, you can't lead. So if you just dog whistle, DEI, Black, Hispanic, DEI, Black, Hispanic, and that's what you think. And so when you dealing with a population who don't read, so they can't lead. You don't read, you can't lead. And they're going to hear that and say, oh, the Black people. And people hail Ronald Reagan as, oh, I like Ronald Reagan. But let me tell you something. He was the best at dog whistling to say the welfare queens, when statistics proved that it wasn't Black women, it was white women. And so the people that they're going to believe that anyway. Whoever don't read, they're not going to lead. They're not going to believe it. If you just get your information from X network, then you're going to hear that and you're going to believe it. A lot of his population, he's 80, almost 80. Well, he is 80. I think he's 80 years old, probably 80, older than 80. And he will give that. And so these people, you're sitting there and every day you got a routine. Your routine is you get your coffee with sugar and cream. You sit at your TV and you like to bring brain. Well, a lot of people like their brain. They like their brain screwed around with because that's all they can do. They're not going to lead. They're not going to do their own research. So with people, he knows his population. If you're in Appalachia and you don't read, right? Your brain can be massaged and messed with, and that's what he's doing.
Manipulated.
So, it ain't no sense. Yeah, you can be manipulated, and that's what's happening. They being manipulated, and he's saying, okay.
And this neo-Confederate movement. We heard this the other night. Like this is a neo-Confederate movement, and their whole efforts to attack what they believe a certain community, Black people, LGBTQ communities. They try to pin us against each other. That's one. To divide and conquer. And like, the woman, the doctor who was just on the video say, F around to find out, like, because you did not read and you did not do your research, did not realize that, some of these things that's been, labeled as dog whistles and ways to, another way of saying the N word and other things to attack specifically one group, you attack many groups. And if you know the history of America, there is nothing specific for African Americans that this country has ever done. So everything that supposedly is for Black folks is attached to so many other groups. And so when you F around and find out, you F around and mess with white, F around and mess with people with disabilities, F around and mess with people who are veterans. And so then you colors begin to show, like how you trying to piecemeal it. He tried to put a halt on all.
He's never been hidden. Program, but it's a stigmatized. It's a dog for the welfare queens. It's a stigmatization. This is who this helps. These people aren't better than us. They aren't smarter than us. And for me, it's like we were watching some teens play football. We were watching that, right? And I mean, just to be a bully, like for me growing up, I didn't just want to keep winning. Like I don't want to just keep seeing other people not get ahead. To me, it's so fun in it. When you're the bully and you stomping on everybody, gays, Blacks, brown people, transgender, you stomping on everybody. What's the thrill in that? You gotta study evil.
It's a thrill for some people who love power, or who feel like something is being taken away from them. What they really don't understand, like you said, that his biggest voting base are the uneducated and whatnot.
Uneducated.
So their understanding of a lot of things is surface. So they could use certain stigmas to pin against other groups. And so while we're all like, angry at this group and angry at that group over things that doesn't really impact your everyday life, the things that do matter, where the richer, you know what I mean? The people who really have all the power and all the resources and, won't be impacted by a tight economy. They're going to continue to get rich. They're going to continue to get a tax break that is going to benefit them, while a lot of people stand to lose, and that's going to impact more people than what we call the 90% of the people in this country.
Playbook in the world, and I'm surprised it still works.
the burden is going to be put on your backs, not their backs, your backs.
I'm surprised it still works. That easy. Absolutely. I mean, it's the oldest playbook. I'm surprised it still works. Michelle Alexander, in her book, The New Jim Crow, she wrote about this. Like the strategy has always been to put poor whites against blacks and make them think, oh, they're taking something from us. But in this case, it's to put Hispanics and Mexicans and Venezuelans against, like, oh, they're taking something from us. This is the only thing they come to do. When statistics prove it's a very small percentage of people who, I'll give you an example. I served on Citizens on Patrol, right? In a community, one of the communities we grew up in, our beloved grandmother grew up in. And this community had 25,000 people. And this community has been stigmatized to say, oh, it's crime. You can Google this community. They be like, watch out for this and that and that. But actually, the statistics show that out of 25,000 people, less than 1,800 people are the problem. And it's really even smaller than that because 800 men are into stuff. And it's like maybe 1,000 grandmothers and girlfriends being afraid, being old, whatever the case is, that kind of like are complicit. But out of 24 or 23 other 1,000 people who get up and go to work, who take their kids to school, who go to church, who respect their country, these are not, and this is what's happening with what he's trying to portray. It's probably a very small percentage of people who commit violent crimes. And also, I'll say this, we all on the same page. Who wants somebody in your country or in your community that is violent? Nobody wants that. The way he delivers the message is what's us against them. Get them out of here. It's been reported under the Biden administration, he actually deported more people. Well, because he wants to be in your face, I'm going to show you. Where y'all DEI, wear your deportation jackets, wear your uniform. Let me show this. Let me be in your face. And so the people who are programmed, the optics, and the people who don't read, that can't lead, are going to say, oh, he's getting them out of here. He's getting them on a plane. But they're not thinking about you taking 80 people to Venezuela on a plane. When you do those military jets, it costs $800,000. So people who are here, they're standing in the grocery store, taxpayer dollars, standing in the grocery store and saying, this roast is $40, or this this piece of meat is something I can't afford. They're thinking like, oh, well, he's going to make it better. But you just wasting money. And they're sitting there having high-end dinners, laughing at y'all. They don't care nothing about anybody that is not in the top 1%. And really, you could say he's an AI robot. Is that the real? I'm being totally serious with it. Is it Donald Trump, or has he been cloned? Like, you don't know who's running this. Is it Elon? Is it who? Yeah, well,
you just impact a whole lot right there. But what I will say is that we have to be mindful of like our information, and that there is a lot of technology that, has helped in the manipulation and the misinformation of our country, and to be an influence. And, the greatest asset in the world is our personal information that we give up willfully to, our cell phones and laptops and apps and everything else. And so they use this information that we give, all this personal information, even from our text to, the things we like. And so they have profiles on every single person. They can kind of figure out, are you the person that's, on the surface of politics? If so, then you might be easily influenced to sway this way, rather than, someone who is consistent, heavily into politics and informed. And so, the battle this election was for low propensity voters, people who don't vote very frequently, people who are not, readily engaged. And so, and a lot of the information and even people in our own community, our own family was bamboozled to take it to work against.
I wouldn't even say, well, they were bamboozled, but I wouldn't even say that. If you are trying to understand how you're going to put some food on the table and some healthy food on the table, and you go in there and you can't afford eggs because it's the bird flu, you can't afford a roast, you can't afford turkey, you can't afford anything. Those are your top priorities. I got to send my child to school and I don't have gas in my car. The bus, if they get on the bus aren't safe to get on the bus, and you dealing with those kitchen table issues. And so when you're trying to wrap yourself around, okay, I'm dealing with kitchen table issues I'm dealing with kitchen table issues, but also I have to be concerned with politics, local politics, national politics. You have to be concerned with that, but you have to connect the dots and have them understand, how does this affect you? But if they're online, that's why I'm completely off Twitter and I moved to Blue Sky, because if they're online and you're being targeted with this misinformation, like, this is a reason why this is happening. The reason why your guns are being taken away is because of this. We have an uncle, right? And he told me back when Hillary ran against Donald Trump, he said, Hillary want to take away our guns. But if you said low propensity, but if you're not reading and you just sitting there and you on social media, you don't turn off social media and say, here is a book, here is something that
you don't check for credible sources,
Yes,
everything.
But there are vulnerable people who really don't know how to check. They believe whatever is dished out to them, and that goes to the AI and the Elon Musk, where you just basically pumping people full of misinformation, and they believe that. Same with these senior citizens. If people can call you, that's why they say, you go in any store, they say, watch out for scams against senior citizens, because when the older you get, the less you get a little older, you get a little bit more confused, and people are able to mislead you. Fox, I'll say a channel, some of these followers of Donald Trump, a lot of them died off in that first, when he ran the first time, when he became president the first time. But then he's got these senior citizens, and they are just, well, he said this, I said that, and they just being programmed. I had a neighbor, right? And he told me, I said, I'm going to California. He said, you're going to be kidnapped, because I seen on Fox News. Are you reading? Or are you just being programmed?
Right. Wow. Yeah. Well, let me go back to the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because that's real heavy. And even in this week, it's still like a heavy subject. But to be very clear, just like what we heard earlier, who it actually impacts in a lot of ways. But the idea of it is because it's been made into such a negative. Diversity is welcoming of all people, as it should. So if you're in an environment or in a space and you're the only one, you know what I mean? I think it doesn't hurt to have people from different ethnic groups and backgrounds and experience to come together and to make something special, to make something better. There's nothing negative about diversity, because it's the welcoming of all people. Equity is providing access to all. It's very important, and given the framework of, everyone's situation isn't the same. So keeping that in mind, like, everyone's upbringing is different, or, economic situation is different, but, everyone deserves the same access to whatever that situation is. So if I was in an accident and now, I'm wheelchair bound, I still need to be able to have access to this,
absolutely,
company or wherever I'm trying to go. So you should take in consideration, you should make those accommodations. If I want to work here, or do X, Y, and Z, those accommodations should be considered and not be an afterthought. People that can't hear, or just, people who can't help who their parents are, but they're very smart. They need the opportunity, but they don't have that access. And lastly, inclusion. Inclusion is providing economic opportunity for underrepresented minority groups. So in a lot of spaces where, we're talking about contracts, I mean, we can even use the example of Target, who have just ended their diversity, equity, inclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Very foolishly. But, they were very intentional at one time in making sure that they uplift Black-owned businesses and Black-owned suppliers. And so, even in the emphasis of like showcasing certain items owned by Black-owned people, now it's just like, we're not going to do that. But you're not going to find their stuff in many stores, because it's hard for them to have access.
You can go to their website. That's what one of the things is. There is a strategic boycott, and people would have to like do their research and look online. But I'll say it like this. I think about it like this. So let's take McDonald's. McDonald's was founded by some brothers, and they had a stand on the side of the road, like a hamburger stand, right? So if you got a hamburger stand in a rural community, the only people who is your target audience is the people who live in your community, and they coming by to buy hamburgers. But if you want to grow into a global company, you're gonna have to learn how to service diversity, right? Because if you want to say small-minded, then okay. You have, in order to grow, you're going to have to expand, because you're going to have to know how to market to this diverse people, age diversity, veteran diversity, disability, LGBT. So if you want to stay small-minded, if you want to stay the hamburger stand on the side of the road, then keep with your races. You don't want diversity, right? Like you said, diversity is a good thing. But if you want to expand into a company like JP Chase Morgan, where you can be the leader in banking, right? You're going to have to expand, and you're going to have to know how to, with that market that you expand to, you're going to have to know how to be inclusive. Like, I don't know how to market to someone who's 70 years old, or I don't know how to market to somebody who's transgender. How do I do this? How do I be global? And if you want to be global, then you will learn that diversity is a good thing. But if you want to be small-minded, if you want to be the hamburger stand on the side of the road, then DEI is not for you. And Target is going to F around and find out, because they have a boycott. I would encourage people to look into it. There's a podcaster who I respect and follow. His name is Roland Martin, right? He broke down the amount of money. So a boycott has to be strategic. You can't just say, I've had people in the family text me and say, I'm not going here, I'm not going there, I'm not going there. They naming all these companies that have gotten rid of DEI, and they already lined up like, I ain't going there. But you have to be strategic, If I don't go to this store, it's still Black people working in there. It's still brown people working in there. And what is the strategic plan? And I think the way Roland Martin laid it out, it helps you understand how even a 30-day boycott of just one of these targeted institutions, how that could work. You may not be like, oh, I need Target. I just like Target. I like Target, or I like Walmart. And you may not understand how that could work in the long term. But do you understand? He broke down the numbers of the impact of Black dollars, just even not spending for 1 day or 7 days. And I get it, because sometimes, like, the mom and pop store, you may not be able to do that forever, but can you do it for 30 days? Can you challenge yourself for 30 days not to spend? As far as 100, I think it's 100 or 1,000 products owned by Black people, go to their websites, buy directly from them. And I would encourage everybody to go and check out this starting February 1st, which is just in a couple of days. I would encourage you to go and check this out, because you do have to be strategic. You can't just say, oh, I ain't never going there. I ain't never going there. And I understand that. But
you could. Like, I mean, that's just in ways as we have these discussions and we start really organizing and coming together on some of this, because I got some other information too to kind of help offset what we could do in capacities, because the blueprint has been done. Our ancestors and our civil rights leaders, they've been there, done that, and have been successful. It's a shame that we have to repeat history in a lot of ways in this capacity, but if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And so we have to really organize and come together and be confirming these convictions if we want to show our power, because the fact of the matter is the people always had the power. We do have power, and as long as we understand that and we're working together collectively, we can beat the opposition. We can beat.
I think there are people. So I don't need to surround myself with people. See who I don't surround myself with. I don't surround myself, and I'm not saying that you can't influence them, but I understand how do you tell the gamer who's just you know what, this is very overwhelming for me. So I'm going to be a gamer and I'm going to look at just random stuff and I'm not going to strategize. And it doesn't work with preaching, and not saying that that's what we're doing, right? But you got to come up with a strategy that is able to reach them. Like we were talking about earlier, how some of these ads were targeting. Some people believe, oh, Hillary's taking away my guns. How do you come up with that strategy? Because just telling people that, they died 400 years
the information.
Like the Montgomery boycott.
Well, you supply people with the information.
Yeah, but in a way that
anything and everything you do, everything is not going to be 100. Like even back in those days, they didn't get 100% support, but the great majority understood the mission, and you don't need everybody. You just need the right people to attack that. So absolutely. Even at that, I want to give the list of the company that is making an effort to not just continue their DEI programs, but to expand and to stand 10 toes down that this is what they believe in. So companies like Delta, JP Morgan, Home Depot, the Marriott, Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, Goldman & Sachs, American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, Catholic Health have all been on.
I can't believe you said Lowe's. Lowe's is a history of just being not good for Black people. You said Home Depot.
I didn't say Lowe's.
But Lowe's, you cannot.
Yeah.
You should say Lowe's. Lowe's should have been the first person.
Exactly. These
are
Lowe's
should have been the first, because before they even announced that they're getting rid of DEI, they had a whole bunch of racist stuff going on. So Lowe's should have been one of the first companies. But again,
but these are the companies. These are the companies that scaling back are denouncing DEIs. These are the companies that are going against, are scaling back their DEI. So this is the targets: Amazon, Boeing, Brown-Forman, Caterpillar, Ford, Harley-Davidson, John Deere, Lowe's, Molson Coors, Meta, McDonald's, Nissan, Tractor Supply, Toyota, and Walmart. So it's
the
a lot.
The reason why you have to be strategic is because even these companies that you name, like let's just say, I don't know if you name Walmart, because you might have.
That was the last one I said.
But even the products that are in there, like the Bounty paper towels or different products, so it has to be strategic, and that's why it's so important. Because even if you say I ain't never going to McDonald's, and a lot of us haven't gone to McDonald's,
there's other options.
Still, if you know that. Yeah, but the oil, if you know the oil for the fries comes from this supplier, you still can never get out of it. It's like, how do I know? That's why I say you have to be strategic, because you're saying I'm not going to Lowe's, but you go somewhere else and buy. Lowe's sell paper towels, or Home Depot sells paper towels. So you go somewhere else and you say, I'm not going to Lowe's, but I still use Bounty paper towels. And then Bounty paper towels are still against what you're doing. And a lot of these companies, like you mentioned Coors. I think you mentioned Coors, which is a beer company, right? Coors, if you own 50 different brands of beer, and people say, well, I ain't gonna never go to Coors, but then you go and buy whoever Coors is in business with, you're still supporting that company. So that's why it has to be strategic, because you're telling people, Black people who work in Target, who work in Walmart, who work in not Costco. Costco is still remaining. It's Sam's, who work in these stores. As you go into, you telling them, don't go in here because this is that, and it has to be a strategic plan. Now, I like what you have written down here. You say letter campaign to corporations, and I think that absolutely works. A lot of people, they on their phone, they won't even put it down. They go to the bathroom with their phone. I gotta go to the bathroom. Where my phone at? I can't even go to the bathroom. And so you gotta teach people, or not teach people, but encourage them to, like, can you put it down for 2 minutes, 1 minute? Practice this. Practice 1 minute of just commitment. That's what I do. Like, even with exercise or anything, I'll be like, I'm gonna do 4 minutes. I ain't gonna do a whole hour, but I'm gonna do 4 minutes. Guess what? Reading. Guess what, Frankie? Read 10 pages. If you can read, okay, well, you don't feel like reading 10 pages a day, read 2 pages today. Make yourself better. Invest in yourself. And that's one of the things people don't do. A lot of people be on foolishness, and it is foolishness, like all day long. Girl, you see what he did. You see what this did. And that's foolishness. To improve and invest, make yourself better. Give yourself a minute. Be like, you know what? I ain't about to do 10 push-ups. I'm going to do 1 push-up today. I can't get out of bed today. I'm gonna turn to the left.
But I guess you got to start somewhere. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like, and the part of that, so what you're saying is you got to be intentional. So I mean, You know, some things you got to stand on it, and people, you told me this.
That
people
no business,
do what they want to do,
like you said, 10
and
toes
make
down
excuses for the things that they don't. So if you really, really want to, you know, stand strong and be like, I'm not fucking with Target or Walmart, whatever, you won't. But if you want to make excuses and like,
but I don't think it's not even so woke. You have to understand. What about the people that work in it? It's not going to be effective when you.
It may not be. That may not be you because it's helping you pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say like
but you can't. That's why it has to be strategic.
You working there.
It has to be strategic. It has to be realistic. You can't just say, I'm going to not ever go in Walmart. I'm never going to go in Target. But you can say 30 days, here is the amount of money. Can we do 30 days? Can I do one push-up? Can I do one jumping jack? Yeah. Can I not eat junk food for one day? Yeah. You got to take it in stages. You can't just be like, I ain't never going there. Because that's like a diet. That's like you saying, I'm going on a diet, and you're not going to go on a diet. You're going to fail. So you can't just be like, I'm going to do that. I ain't going in Walmart. You ain't even got a car. How the hell you going to go to another store? You ain't even got a car.
Well, if you got a car, you definitely ain't going to Walmart. If you don't got a car, you definitely ain't going to Walmart. So that's probably easier said than done.
So you ain't got a car Target. You can't just say, I ain't going there, but you don't got a plan. You got to take a lift to get there.
Let's give them a plan.
Have a plan. You got to start with listen to people who know, who break it down. That's why I say Roller Moore. I don't want to just keep bringing him up but I feel like he's a shit, right? I really do. And you got to break it down. Like, can we do this for 30 days? Can I not eat junk food for 30 days? You got to take it where you at. You can't just all of a sudden be like, well, I ain't doing that. I ain't never talking to you again when I know I'm talking to you again. How can I do it?
That just depends on the person. Everybody is at their different levels on where they at. And I think everybody, you got to allow everybody to be able to work at their different levels. So some people, you know, they need to start on baby steps. Some people, you know, they can do half and half it. Some people can go all the way in. And whatever level that you're at,
and you can
whatever level that you're at, you know, just all you need to do is start. Do something. But
that ain't gonna work though. Because see, what I'm saying is, if I'm saying I can't go to Target for 30 days, but you saying I ain't never going to Target. That's not going to work. You have to do something that's effective.
I mean, why would anybody be worried about certain people? Like, it's some people that is clear on, like, I'm never going to listen.
They ain't going to miss your money. Just you personally say if
that might be, and that just might be, and that's just one less person. You know, I mean, we the minority anyway. So I mean, we can
the minority, we majority, man.
Every black person can say they ain't going whatever, and they can, you know, probably fill that up with more white people, you know, and still get their funds, whatever. But they still losing because, you know, this was money that they were getting, and now they don't have that.
I think that when people come to a realistic expectation of what realistically can be done, and if it's just sloppy, like I'm gonna go on the left corner, you're gonna go to the right corner, and everything just all over the place. You got to be strategic. You got to come up with a strategic.
I mean, the strategy.
Everybody can't do it. Everybody like you. We have vehicles, and we can go to Timbuktu. Or maybe not, but we can go. If you ain't got a car and you like, well, this store is up the street, I got to get a Lyft. I got to get an Uber. It's not realistic for everybody. So, but if only 10 of y'all doing it, but 500 still going to not Costco, but Sam's, because Costco has not eliminated their DEI. JP Morgan Chase has not eliminated. But if you say that, but then if you don't know, are they still with the product?
Let me help y'all. Let's help them then, because this is a app called Nile, and I love it. It's like the Nile in Egypt, and this is owned by a black woman, and she has taken the time to combine all types of black-owned businesses, and you can list your black-owned business on this website, and it's also an app. It has a black-owned directory of every type of situation: hair care, skin care, feminine care, makeup, luxury, shoes, jewelry, handbags. These are all black-owned businesses.
All the Green Book. There are a couple of apps like that.
Yeah, and beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm trying to get all the way through it.
It's absolutely stunning. But there are a couple. So that's like the Green Book, where you can shop and where you can't. But you also got to think about people's budget too. You also got to think about their budget. Like, is it more? Can I just go there and get?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, read what's in now.
Let's say now holds a profound symbolism rich with layers of meaning that resonate deeply with our faith in Christ, our heritage, and unique plight in history. And so, our response to racial injustice, the lifeblood of civilization, is a symbol of liberation. And they got, you can check this out. This is the founder right here, Dacia Patry. A bit about me.
It's another place like that, Shop Black.
Yeah, but I just encourage people because this really seemed like a very.
But also with that too, you got to understand and see. This will meet people where they at. It's people that can't even. They don't even got like 1 cent. They don't have 1 penny. Okay, so you saying like, let me go to this app. I ain't got a computer, can't get it on my phone, or barely get it on my phone. I ain't got the money to pay for this. So it's got to be strategic. She sounds like, or this app sounds like a It's another one. It's like the Green Book of shopping. But there are a couple. There's another app, and I wish I had it pulled up before we got on. There's another thing like that. But can I just go and buy a luxury hair product, or do I need to use a generic swap? You got to really be realistic about people's pockets. Where I'm at, some people is not there. They're not there. Okay. And so that's why it's important to be realistic. Like even when they say, if you don't go to Target, where these 100 companies, go directly to their website. Go directly to their website. You got to have a credit card. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have a bank account. And that's what I'm saying. People have to be in touch with what the realistic is for everyone. Like I can't imagine, like for me, I can't imagine, like you got a bank account? You got a credit card? Right. I can't imagine that. But there are people who don't have these things where they can't just go or order it. It's a whole senior population. It's a population that are just say, I don't know what I ain't gonna put out no age, but they can't even, they don't even use online. They don't even use online. I go to Aldi's. Like I go to Aldi's. I catch a bootleg cab to Aldi's. How do you, it's gotta make it make sense.
Yeah. And like even in that capacity, like in a lot of ways, those individuals may not even get involved in the movement because they so far removed unless somebody like personally and they family bring them in and talk to them, and you know what I'm saying, because they're probably in a tunnel vision of information where all they're getting, and they're not getting access to these portals of information. Like, so that's why in the lecture season I was saying, like, the work we could start right within our own family. A cousin or a family member that is way out there in the fringes. Their understanding of politics or elections is very minimum to none, and it's our responsibility. Trusted members in the family, trusted members in the community to inform.
But it's also responsibility. You said that person. I called it. It said what people of faith. Some people, believe it or not, like that could just turn somebody off. Like saying, she said, "I'm a believer in Christ."
It's always going to be something. What I said earlier is like it's never going to be a total 100% participation of anything. And so if you start thinking in a capacity like this person and that person and how we not, you're never going to start anywhere. The objective is to begin.
I think there is a start though. Again, I said, be strategic. There's a start being strategic. We're saying, can I do this for 30 days? Can I realistically do this for 30 days? Can I realistically drink a gallon of water for 30 days?
And then 30 days, and they go to 60 days. If people start
and you see the economic, because they understand money. So if you don't spend, we get Black people to not spend in Target for that. I can do that. I don't go to Target anyway. But if I went to Target, I go to the other one. I go to Walmart. But if somebody told me, okay, Walmart, their prices, somebody said, can you not go there for 30 days? Could you not spend? I could say yes. I could say realistically, this is something I can do. You telling me I'm going to make $1 billion impact if 300 of us or whatever the number is, this is something I can realistically do. You got to put into place realistic steps. Like, can you never go there with my lifestyle? Can you never go there? Yeah, I could never go there, but would it be with my purse?
I don't think the act should ever be like never or whatever on anything. Like, that may be in the hearts of some people. Like you were just offended that much that for you, it's a never. You know what I'm saying? That don't have to be the strategy or the outright plan.
But you gotta go with the products. They got these books.
It started off with like 30 days. Like you said, it started.
I agree. And then you go there, but then you got like
that they can.
I'm gonna read Dr. Seuss books to my kids, and they sell Dr. Seuss books. So I'm gonna sell brownie paper towels, and all the stuff is racist, and you just get into this whole spiral. You racist,
you're digging into a rabbit hole of like of all types of things what you have to begin with is understanding, like, well, we have that list, and a lot of people are circulating a list on social media, and in the same way they put out
misinformation. You not go to?
It's very very important.
What store are you not going to go to? Are you not going to go to?
It's very very important that we share trusted and informed information that is credited. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I don't share foolishness. I share information that is trusted.
You share, but just sharing it. That's why I tell somebody send me links people send me links every single day. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, you just sending me links and shit. Dig into the deep of it. Just sending me a link like, here are 20 remote jobs.
It may not, but for some people it do. Like, that's just the whole thing. It's working.
We are overwhelmed with information.
Yeah.
Like you. Your store is saying, are you going to not go there? Just sharing that with me. And just sharing with one word on me. And are you going to be my transportation?
I mean, but that's kind of like probably like a younger generation thing. People do that all the time. And so, you know, it's a way if, like, respectfully, if that ain't you, like, I get a lot of things shared to me. I don't have time to review everything, but some things I do catch. And so it's all about that. And then when people are liking and sharing, that helps grow the platform or just the visibility of others. So it's a method to doing these things.
But you overloaded. Like, if I'm overloaded, like, I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole of your nonsense. Like, you telling me this, you want me to go down a rabbit hole. What are you saying? And is this effective? Like,
do you rather they call you?
Who?
Do you rather they call you?
I don't want to call me. I want to think. I want to pick up something and read.
Do you rather they say come to your house and talk to you one-on-one?
Don't tell me read. Tell me what you read. Don't tell me what you clicked on and didn't read yourself, but just send it to me. Like, don't send me what you ain't read yourself, because see, me as a researcher, somebody that reads, I'm going to read. Reading, if it makes no sense, I tell people, you send me this. Did you know this was this? This got this. This is this. And I'm like, oh, I ain't even read it. Don't freaking send me what you ain't even read. That you just think it's something good. See, don't send it to a researcher or somebody that's going to read. Don't send me no bullshit. Okay, send me what you've read, because
you have to read it first to make sure that it's.
We got to break ideas. We got to do this. Then I go into it as a researcher. I'm going into it deep, like. Boom, 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 wasting my time. I said, did you know this was that? Oh, I didn't even read it for real. Bitch, don't send me nothing that you ain't read, that you just sharing links and shit. That's like dropping off. Don't send me it then. Don't send it to me, because I'm going to dip down and you're wasting my time with the bullshit. I'm about real shit, not about bullshit.
That goes back to managing your space and your time and your energy and what you got time for. So what we want to do, what we want to receive, what we want to take in, we will, and what we don't, we don't. So I mean, that goes back to that.
But I mean, if they ain't even read it, it's like people passing around information, like you handing out. It's like, people, come on now, spend the time. I want to encourage people, because this is like really what I'm about, and I want to encourage people. Take the time. Like, if you got a second, you said the average person has an attention span of a goldfish. Take the time to really just sit there and be like, no phone. And maybe that's not true. What can you do? Can you do it for 1 second? Can you read one word a day? Like, can you read one word a day?
I definitely think people need to tune out, and take time out, take time away from your phone. Like, it's already a methodology, and even just keeping the phone in your hand, like, that's why you have like
the body part, like you be like
notifications, all of that. It's almost like being at the casino and seeing all the lights and the ding dings. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's a euphoria. They know what they're doing when they have these certain little dings and bells and everything to make you. As soon as you away from your phone 2 minutes, then your phone, it just happens, and here comes this app.
And not here. Where's my other body part?
They're all battling. They're all battling for your attention. And so the more time you spend on this or on YouTube or, on any app or whatever, they can collectively say, and they can mold your mind to whatever. And then they can collect data on like what type of person you are, what do you like, what are you into? And so, and if you're not, like she said, reading the fine print and not allowing your information to be traded and shared with a third party that's analyzing you to the third degree,
right? As you ain't even read
so that's why it's just like the unplug is necessary. To get out in nature is necessary. To read a book is necessary. You know what I'm saying? To just come away but you do have to be informed. That is all of our responsibility. To be more informed.
But don't just add to the social clutter when you get everywhere you go. 50 commercials, 50 this, 50 that. Don't add to the social clutter. Share responsibly so people can get it. If you want to help them, share responsibly. And I like how you put together this, some of the things we can do.
Yeah. But so, because we're touching on to an hour. But I know
you didn't get into the dehumanizing of immigrants and things like that, and then after that, I guess we'll be wrapping up.
Well, even just in the capacity of where we are. So, the question of today's show was: is it racist enough for you now? Because all throughout the campaign and just even this whole battle against DEI and basically this effort to end education, ban books or whatever, even like supposedly for in the next 2 days, it's supposed to be Black History Month, but I guess it won't be recognized by certain agencies on the federal level.
That's why I want to say this too. But about Black History Month, like us right in our home, as we sit here with your kids and we sit here, you prepare a meal, and I've seen you talk to your children, and I'm very impressed at how you sit there and you tell them like, oh, this lesson, how you break it down, how you sit there and explain to your children. And see, we can't wait on the man that studies Ponerology to tell us what a holiday is. We can start with our own family. When they come here, I see you sit there with my son and how you break down and explain things. That's what we got to do. We got to count on each other to sit there and say, well, this is what this is. Like, we ain't always got to be talking about nonsense. I've seen you. I've watched you talk to your own kids. I watched you talk to my son and how you explain to them about the importance of Black leaders and what's going on in politics where they're engaged. Like, hold up, she's talking to me. So they're listening to you. And that's what we got to do. We got to meet them where they at and say, I talked to even your son today. He said, well, I got this other project for you. So it's my opportunity. And I'm like, you bring it to me at the last minute. And I'm like, but I'm glad to do it because it's my opportunity to sneak. I ain't got to sneak it in. But I can say this is why this is important. So we can worry about absolutely what they're banning books and they ain't teaching them. We the teachers. We are the teachers. Our grandmother taught us, about different things. And so I listen to you as I watch you teach these people. You got this whole family. You got the whole family on lockdown. Like, we know everything we need to know. You are the
you as well.
You are the historian. You are the keeper of the stories of the family of this or that. You are the teacher. We don't need school. We don't need them to go to school and be overwhelmed. We don't need that. We are the teachers. I listen to your mother, okay? I listen to our grandmother tell me the story. This stuff I got in my side. I read the books. They can't ban nothing that I got in my home or in your home, whatever. They can't ban nothing. We are the teachers for this. So it's
going back to like what you were saying earlier, like everybody don't have that same experience. So you're talking to a person like we come from a household where we speak on this. We have spirited conversations on politics, on our history. We well in depth and well informed on these things. But in some households that this is not a subject. It is
the children that we come in contact.
It is a total disconnect from history, and so a lot of times, the most they'll get about who they are and where they from is from public education.
But if you had an opportunity to come in contact, your conversation, your dialogue, you ever met a person where you come up to them and they ain't about that foolishness. Like, they ain't gonna be like overly like, oh, I'm just so academic. No, but you're able every moment, even in a doctor's office, in a grocery store. Like I seen you the other day in a grocery store talking to a man who was very smart himself, but you educated him every opportunity. See, if people they waste time, you can sneak it in. It's just like when you give kids vegetables. It's like, okay, I'm putting spinach in my lasagna. It's an opportunity to teach strangers, anybody you come in contact with. You ain't got to preach to them, but when that opportunity come up, I need you to help me do this. Oh, okay. Well, did you know that this was this is that? You got an opportunity at each and every opportunity. People you come in contact with, the kids I tutor, our beloved loved ones. Every time I got an opportunity to, I say sneak something in, but make it exciting for you. That's what we got to do. We can't say, we in the household.
Life, but I mean, a lot of people don't feel that responsibility. A lot of people don't take on that opportunity. A lot of people don't even understand the importance of that in general, because even just if this is something that we have, this is my issue. It's like, this is something that we have in school. And so there is no good reason and rationale on why they're taking it away, other than the mere fact that they're hateful and prejudicial.
It's absolutely hateful.
I think that, so why would I sit back and allow them to take away something that is
you can fight, and I'm not saying
it's not just even for African American students, but also all the other races and cultures. It's important for them to understand our experience, because when they don't understand, when they're far removed as well, that's when a lot of things that were happening in society take place, because there is no empathy, there is no information. A lot of the things from the past can't repeat itself, because we're not informed, and we don't know the history of like where this country is, and
I'm not saying that you should not continue to fight to, like, if they're banning books, we have to continue to say you can't ban this book, or you should continue to teach that. But in the meanwhile, don't wait on them to say, oh, they're giving my kids gym, they're giving my kids art. Do your own gym, do your own Black history, do your own art. And I'm not saying it's going to be for everybody, but in your household, one of the podcasters we listen to, that you're a guest on this podcast often, their podcasters say, basically, what I got a responsibility to do, he's married with maybe 2 or 3 kids. I can teach my household. Nathan, rock it out. You got. So what you do is you meet them where they at, and so you can still fight and to get it in the schools, to keep it in the schools. But you start one person at a time. Like, I'm gonna target him. I see where he gets this at for me. I got some people who in my mind where even your son, I see where he gets it. Let me sneak this in. Let me put the spinach in the lasagna. Let me see where I can meet him where he at. And that's what you got to do. And then you can keep fighting, but you also meet people where they at, like in your household. And then maybe he go out. There's a bunch of boys, they playing basketball and they own, let me go do this. Let me go do that. And he think like, I just came off of reading this, and maybe that'll stop you. And then maybe it won't. But it's a thing that you plant the seed. That's what you got to do. You can't worry about, oh, well, he ain't teaching us that. I don't need them teaching me that. I ain't need nobody teach my boys nothing, because I was teaching them. I was the first teacher.
You definitely was.
Grandma,
yes.
Yeah, she taught me.
They are readers. They are intellects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I taught them.
And
I'm responsible for you.
Yeah.
When you go out and they do something, you with a gang of people and they decide to do something, I'm hoping it don't always work, but I'm hoping that what I have instilled in you, like Grandma B, what you have instilled in me, it works. It works. Okay. I know that I must do this. I know that I must be a protector. I know that I must be the stitch of friends, family. I must meet them where they at. Preaching don't work. It never worked with me. So I'm only meeting them. And if it worked with you, then preach. Because that's what you do. Preaching, like somebody preached to you. They're like, they told me preaching don't work with me. So I'm only meeting people where I'm at. And they can meet me where I'm at. But if something else worked with you, then do it. But and one of the things I never want to do is shit on anybody else, what strategies work for them. I can try it. I can accomplish it. But be open-minded to learning new strategies, but also be open-minded to doing things that you've seen work. And that's just where I'm at. I'm not saying, oh, they banning books, we should not fight for that. No, we should absolutely fight for that if that's your thing. But in the meantime, don't worry, like Black History Month, baby. We can have a whole dinner. You can do dinner. You can serve a whole, you're a caterer, okay? So you can serve a whole meal. Go and do some research of what they served, what would be an ideal Black History Month meal, and we can sit down. Who ain't coming for food? Everybody coming for food, but you coming for food. Here's a lesson. Here's what it's like. You got them little things on your meals and different things like that. This person perfected, say, collard greens. I'm just saying, it's just be creative. I'm a creative person. Be creative in trying to get your message out. Like, you coming here, we also having a Black History program. Whatever. If it's little, if it's like, we're going to watch 5 minutes of this show. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. That's what we're going to do. Is it racist enough now?
Yeah.
Is it racist enough now?
Just with everything, summarizing just everything, because we talked about a lot. But I think I guess the defining thing I want people to take from our conversation today is that we have to really come together and be united. These are going to be difficult times. But it's no harder and no difficult than what our community, I'll say the Black community, has undergone. We have undergone a great deal. And I say this all the time that, I'm here today because someone had to endure the mid-Atlantic slave trade.
Absolutely.
I'm here, I breathe today because someone had to endure the inhumanity of slavery and separation of families and rape. I'm able to do what I do today because someone had to deal with the terrorism of Jim Crow segregation. And so my fight today, is real on every level. And my existence is because of their survival. And so knowing these things, everything that my ancestors went through, my fight is real. If I don't fight for what they fought so hard for me to enjoy and have today, then I'm not worth the air that I breathe. And so in a lot of ways, that commitment, that fight, that drive, we got to remember that our story, the African-American story here in this country, is the greatest story of adversity, overcoming against all odds, all obstacles. We've done it all. We've been through everything in this country, and we are still here. There's many civilizations that have been wiped out by colonization, have been wiped out, by the opposition, not us. We are here. We are thriving. And as much as they want us to feel powerless, we have power. We have economic power. We have political voting power, and we are educated. We are informed, and we can come together. And the people that believe in what this country is supposed to stand for, which is supposed to be a melting pot. It is a country of immigrants. So for us to be in such a mindset that, certain people don't belong, it's like really far-fetched and hypocritical to say when this country doesn't belong to anyone but the Native Americans, to be perfectly honest. And we know this, but the self-entitlement and the arrogance and just the whole narcissist of some individuals to believe that, you can point out and say who belong here, who deserves protection is a farce. And it's shame on us, any of us who fell for that narrative. We have to do better. We have to do better. And I can't say it enough, but what we can't allow them to do is, because their goal is to hoard opportunity and legalize discrimination right now. And we got to do
that's right.
we have to do to fight against that. We cannot normalize this behavior. And that's what a lot of people, they're trying to do. You have a lot of enablers in Congress right now that is going to allow this racist narcissist to do a lot of things to harm a lot of people. And that's the greatest threat when good people remain silent amongst what is wrong. It is wrong to try to end birthright citizenship. This is in our 14th Amendment. And a lot of people, once again, they're trying to put information out to pin against, this was, for enslaved children. And that's what it was really for. No, this is for, that may be like the nucleus of how it began, but it is to protect all who are naturalized.
But if you don't follow anything, you don't care what anybody's saying. That's why people like you, because you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck what anything said can't be done. You're showing people constantly back again because you study evil. You study disruption and evil, pornology. You showing people back to back. I don't care. Like, I don't care. You remember that Pierre said, I don't care. And that's what he's saying. So trying to reason with somebody who's unreasonable is unreasonable, right? So you got to keep going. Like they say, the word woke. You want to, like they did that with the group Akon. Akon, they made it into a bad word. You couldn't even say Akon. You can't let the loud voices, the bullies win. You got to take it into your own hands and say, you know what? Y'all ain't winning. This is not going to work with me. You can't just sit there and just soak this down. Like everything they say, they bully you. This is what a bully does. A bully tell you, guess what? You can't have this. You can't say this.
What you see is not what you saw. Yeah.
That part is what he's saying. And you can't let a bully win. You can't let empty and sympathy. That's why I put it in my name. That's it. Look, I got empathy and I got
that's sympathy. That's what we need more of. And a great part of me believe like these actions that are against, DEI and critical race theory and all the different things that, have been platforms to help elevate, minority groups of all, not just Black people, but all minority groups. You have a certain segment of the population that see that and is irritated by it. And I don't understand, because for centuries, you have had the benefits.
I don't understand it though. Why don't you understand when somebody's gonna trick you? It's like saying when somebody go to prison, don't let nobody trick you out your freedom. Don't let nobody trick you out your knowledge, what you know is common sense. Like, see, that's why I don't even listen to the foolishness, because you're not gonna trick me out of my freedom. You're not gonna trick me out of my common sense that my grandmother is stored in me. It don't make sense saying that, oh, you woke, you're racist. Get the F out of here. You're not gonna trick. Grandma put in us that I will not let nobody trick me out of what's common sense. Like, you can trick some of the people, but you can't. Some of the people understand, but you're not going to trick me out of what is absolute common sense.
But I'm talking about white folks. Now I'm talking about white people. They want to trick you out of. It's become a grievance tour. It's become reverse racism. It's become white fragility. So somewhere along the line, I really believe it happened.
I don't eat their dinner. I don't trust their food. I don't eat their knowledge. I don't eat that because I don't trust them. I'm not gonna let you trick me out of what I'm eating. This is your message. Like, they trick people out of acorn. How strong are you? Only the strong is gonna survive. You can't be tricked out of your freedom, your knowledge, stuff that don't make sense. I was at a grocery store with like a convenience store. And I seen two kids. They were out there. And they were asking for money, and I seen them or whatever, and I was like, oh, I went in the store. They ain't saying nothing to me, and I came back up to them. I gave them money. I said, why y'all didn't ask me? They was like, well, no, we just they read to people and see can they ask them for money. I said, really, y'all could go in there and take anything y'all want. Y'all ain't got to stand here. What you want in the store? Go get it. And they were like, huh? And I'm like, yes, it's legal. You can go. You have to pay for it. Go get anything. And then I was like, let me tell you, I'm just messing with y'all. And I gave him my money, but I told him, like, this is what this man is saying. Anything goes, right? The way he don't have no rules. Right. Some people got to follow rules, some don't. So I tell them, go in there. Then I use the opportunity. I gave them $1 a piece, and I use the opportunity to be like, yeah, it's people that don't follow rules, but we do. So here is this money to you. So every opportunity you can make it out and make it into something. You know what I'm saying? You can make it into something. That's what they want to trick you out of. Woke is being this. I'm going to use woke, and I'm going to use people who strengthen me. Like, I'm not going to use people who beat me down. I understand, like, if you're a political podcaster or whatever your job is, unfortunately you have to digest garbage, right? You have to digest this man nonsense. And this man being some people's president, people have to digest what he's saying because he's going to be on the news every day. I'm not going to put this in my system like junk food or whatever is bad for you. I'm going to make a choice. Sometimes you're going to be weak and sometimes your job is going to require it as an activist, as an advocate in your community. You got to understand what's going on. I get that. But to digest, I'm going to go to people who strengthen me. Like, not people who say, well, this is what they said, and this is what they said. The fuck? I care less what people, that's junk food, that's garbage. And why would I put that garbage in my system? Like, I can hear what they said, but I can reject it. I don't have to. I'm gonna listen to people.
It's more like your mood. That's more like your mood then. And I get it. You can, and that's I encourage people to protect themselves and their space and their mind and their heart, because it is going to be overwhelming, and for the individuals that have to take this information to stay abreast, to inform the community, to keep people.
I agree.
Up
I said it is something.
You know what I'm saying? But even at that,
not even some people, all people. But I've reduced it down to who I trust. I got a list. Who I trust to dissect some of this information and give me the best information to keep me strong. I have a list of people who I don't trust. When needed, I'm going to take just enough in to be able to communicate with you. I'm going to get on a good cause. If I hear a good cause, like, oh, we need to do this for 30 days, or we need to listen to this, and I'm going to be on that good cause. If I can donate, if I can write a letter, whatever way I can contribute, that's what I'm going to do. But what I'm not going to do is put up with your foolishness every single day of my life. My chest tight. I had chest tightening. My chest at night. Well, it is, because it's like this man, my face broke out. Everything. Why? Because you driving us crazy. You drive me crazy. My face is, my chest tight at night. I'm worried about how I'm gonna do this. How I'm gonna do that. And that's what this man, they want you to do that. They want you to be taken out of here, leave this earth, because they stressing you out about how you going to buy you a piece of beef. Ain't that something? How about that?
And that's the other thing, because some people wanted to use the excuse like, oh, I voted for him because I was worried about the price of eggs and the economy. The economy's stupid, right? And all these different things. And I call bullshit, because it's not his commercials. His commercials was about transgenders, and attacking that community. His commercials was about, DEI. When he was out there on the campaign field, he was really like, regurgitation of the mouth, just saying what he really felt. Like if you saw any of his, rallies, I mean, it was just like a hate fest, and it was just more ways to pit Americans against Americans. We're all Americans, and it's just a way to pin us against each other. And even like
when ain't gone down, people ain't slimmer. I seen a big fat. I'm fat, but I seen a big fat woman. I voted for him because of groceries. Well, you don't need to be voting for nobody because of nothing. I may not either, but you sure don't either. And guess what? It still ain't went down. You said in the first, you're gonna do this, that. The roast is still too high. I want a piece of roast, and I can't get a piece of roast. I can get it, but I refuse to pay that price. So ain't nothing went down. You fall for
it's like $30, $40 something dollars. It's ridiculous.
$40 for a piece of roast. I'm like, yeah. That's it. Even $10. Sometimes it's just enough, and people fall for what they want to believe, and they feel like you are in the same league as me, and that's what haters are. They pit poor whites against working blacks and working Mexicans. And so they believe you've taken something that I got. Are you going to take this with DEI? I don't fall for those terms. You got to eat your spinach. Your spinach is a diet of people who help you become stronger, not people who help you become weaker, who help you challenge your sense of sanity. Like, racist was a bad word. No, you're racist. You're racist. I don't want to hear nobody say you ain't racist. You're racist.
Yeah.
And I'm
racist enough for you now.
It's racist enough for me now. And that's
you got Elon Musk doing, Hell Hitler signs. I mean, they just outright with it right now. And for all those individuals that made it seem like that's not what it was. That's exactly who it was. But you chose to ignore it. You felt like it wouldn't impact you. You felt like it was just going to impact us. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, now you see how irresponsible, going all the way to DEI and trying to make that argument like people are unqualified. I mean, he even had the audacity to say it has been a recent airplane crash in Washington, D.C., which I was just at that same airport 2 weeks ago, landed on that same
You should have given a moment of silence.
You know what I'm saying? In a moment of silence for those individuals, all 67 people that have lost their lives, God be with their souls, and their families, protect and watch over them. But these are very scary times when you have an individual that is so irresponsible in a press conference, and the first thing, without any tangible evidence to say anything, he is blaming this on the hiring of DEI. And even the press gallery is like, what evidence do you have to back and say that? He's like, it's just common sense. So, and like they said, it goes to show his whole mentality. They are so overt and so obsessed with race. And we said that this person is who he was. What would Maya Angelou say? When someone show you who they really are, believe it. Nobody.
And some people want to believe it.
But I don't even believe that white people believe it, because white women and white men were the majority people that voted for him. And then third in line was Hispanic males. You know what I mean? Black women and black men.
You have your reason, and you can have your reason why you voted for him, and you're hearing all of that. You're hearing what he's saying, who he is as a person. He's filthy, like he's dirty, he stinks. I mean, this is not something I'm making up. This is stuff that had been. I mean, I know to bring this up, but this has been in books. So not only you are a dirty-minded individual, you stink, because this is what have been written about from your. Well, let's be real. You stink. You're filthy minded. Your people in your military books, you have no respect for military. You have no respect for anybody. And you have no respect for anybody. And so this is what
he did make history as the first convicted felon president. And I hope that becomes a tag. Like, people should address him like convicted felon President Trump. Because that's what you are.
This person is saying. Yeah, DUI. They run. I'm not running with your message. I'm not carrying your water. I'm not the water boy. I'm not the water girl. I'm not carrying your nonsense for saying DEI. I'm carrying your nonsense. You a convicted felon. That's the water I'm carrying. That's the message I'm spreading. I'm not gonna fall for the okie doke. I'm not gonna fall for it. And like I said, I understand as community activist, advocate, it becomes you. It becomes what your responsibility is. But to carry his message, I have to look at people who strengthen me. I can't look at people who weaken me, weaken my mind, my fragile mind. When I'm trying to feed my family, worry about my grandchildren, I cannot listen to nobody that weakens me because I don't want to be weakened. I want to be strengthened. I'm not going to feed myself with junk food, poison food. That's like drinking real antifreeze.
The gaslighting. I mean, when you see these people in Congress and they're being asked, like, what do you think of Trump pardoning January 6ers who have beat down police officers who have lost their lives, that were severely injured, that can no longer do this work? What do you feel about that? And the way they contort and try to make sense out of something that makes no sense, or even just like, avoid it altogether. I mean, they should be ashamed. They should. But this is
but they don't care. It's like you have no soul. When you look up at people who are soulless, they spineless, they soulless, they have no soul, they have no spine. What do you think somebody without a soul, without a spine is going to do? You think they're going to do something different?
And that should be what this country, what you should be really, really concerned and worried about at the end of the day, because if there's no safeguards, if there is no one that is willing to stand up, is no one willing to speak truth to power. I mean, even his attack on the media, he is clearly on a retribution tour. To sit up there and have the audacity to put out his mouth like, someone is a DEI candidate, like they're not qualified or capable, when you're literally putting people in positions of power. Just
Google his cabinet choices and you'll see the DUI candidate. So
white, wealthy, and well connected. It's called
white, wealthy, and well connected. And
all of them, they fit either of those categories.
You don't have to eat what's being put in front of you to believe it. Just be yourself. Understand that this is the okie doke. We ain't falling for the okie doke. But is it racist enough for
you? We're not. Angry black women, you know what I'm saying? You got a right to be angry right now because we said this. We ain't fall for it. We knew better, you know what I'm saying? And for the ones who just thought like he wasn't going to be that bad, or like, was it really that bad? The last, like my recall of it, yes, it was really that bad. And then you're putting people in positions.
They don't care. It's like their personal household. Their personal household doesn't matter. So where we at though? Their personal household, is it racist enough for you?
Right.
You choose what you put in your money, put in your mind, your body, and your soul. And so when you get up in the morning, you choose that. And when you let somebody else control what you think, what you hear, what you eat, what you see, then that's let somebody else control you. Even if it's supposed to be the most powerful person in the world, you still are in control of your thoughts and your family, your household, your community. You can't have control. You can't make a big difference, but you can make a difference. So be mindful and cautious. And plus, I know people ain't the same like us. I know only us, we sit around and watch all this stuff. Other people just do things, and so be mindful, because yes, it is still racist enough, but you have the control. And if you can't do it all at once, take baby steps. Can I read a word, a page? Can I do one push-up, one sit-up? You are in control. Don't digest that diet. What they feed you ain't gotta accept it. You ain't gotta say, I'm gonna eat this. I ain't gonna say woke no more. I ain't gonna say racist no more, because they making like this and this and that. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
My main thing is that people need to, my final word is that we need to get control of the narrative, that we can't normalize what we're seeing. And like the great Dr. Martin Luther King said, it's not the words of our enemies that we will remember, it's the silence of our friends. And so, in these moments where we need, allies, and we need people to stand against what is a wrong, your silence is what we'll remember. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to keep up this fight, and we got to do it together, but we can't remain silent, and we can't be complacent. We can't normalize this, because that's the way an authoritarian type of government begins, is people doing nothing about it. And so we have ways to fight. After this, hopefully we'll plug in some
I think you'll put some links too at the end of this video in the description. Will you put some links to some things we can do?
Things we can do. And people we can contact if you want to write letters to some of these CEOs, in a way to just let them know that you're disappointed with their repeal of DEI programs, that you are a customer, and that, you know, for X, Y, and Z reasons, they shouldn't be releasing a program. And because they did, you're very disappointed with these actions. And we, you know, as people of color, you know, we have to be committed and have conviction. You know, if they don't support diversity, then diverse people shouldn't support them. They shouldn't have a diverse customer base. And so it's real simple. And we can do this. And I believe in us, and I believe in Black women, and I believe in being angry. But today I'm happy because I have Mike Tyson.
Okay, happy
with us.
Being angry.
And all this great information. But stay angry, stay powerful, stay Black. Love y'all. See you later.